Normally, I'd be coming in with a sweet intro for you, but we've got a lot to talk about in these two games. So we're going to recap real quick, and then we'll get into what we think is going to happen next in this series. Yep, I'm Ty. Welcome back, or welcome to America's Sports. Let's get right on into it. I'll get straight into my notes about Game 1, then Game 2, and then we'll kind of recalibrate and predict and see how the rest of the series is going to go. And should we need to move on to Games 5, 6, and 7, then we will come out with a video about that as well. Here are my notes from Game 1. Let me get those pulled up for you. I thought OKC was ass in the first quarter. Just straight up. Minnesota had clearly brought the energy compared to OKC, at least for the first few minutes. OKC just gave them 8. It was 8-0 before anyone realized it. The 8 points that were scored were the easiest buckets that Minnesota would get for the remainder of the game and of Game 2 as well. In the second quarter, I thought OKC was semi-ass. Randall was amazing all first half. Just like we talked about in the preview video, if Minnesota is going to win this series, Randall is going to have to be amazing. There's no other way around it. He was their best player in the Golden State series, and he's going to have to at least be close to on par with Anthony Edwards. The third quarter is where a real momentum shifted. Randall had 3 turnovers and 3 personal fouls before the third quarter ended, and was frustrated. Jaden McDaniels was frustrated. Kenrich Williams was big for Oklahoma City. He was a plus 13. Isaiah Joe was big time as well for the minutes that he got, showing off yet again OKC's depth, as they didn't really get any run in the Denver series. I don't know if Kenrich got any run at all, unless, if you don't count the blowout games. OKC goes out to a 10-point lead to end that third quarter. In the fourth quarter, Caruso and Shea were huge again. Yet again, they were big in the fourth quarter. SGA was a plus 22 with 31 points, 9 assists, 3 steals, 5 rebounds. Cason Wallace was a plus 21 in 33 minutes played. Free throws were 24 for OKC and 21 Minnesota with just over 2 minutes left. And that's when the benches were emptied, because OKC had gone on another incredible run like we've seen throughout the entire playoffs, and it was over from there. The Minnesota Timberwolves shot 51 threes, and I don't know if they'll do that again all series, but it was not pretty for them. Moving on to Game 2. In the first quarter, Chet and Jalen were nice for Oklahoma City. SJ was smooth. He only took a few shots, but he made them all, I do believe. Not a lot outside of the big 3 that I saw. They had leads in the second quarter. At halftime, SJ was 6-9 from the field, 6 for 6 from the free throws. 19 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals with just 1 turnover. That's how you get it done. Now, Anthony Edwards had 16 points, so 3 less, but it took him twice the amount of shots of SGA, and he was 1 for 7 from 3. Ant has not shot well from 3. Ant was trying to go to the rim as much as he could. He kind of forgot that Randall was out there, and look, that's exactly what OKC wants. OKC wants one guy to try to play hero ball as much as possible. Eventually, he's going to get worn down. Eventually, he's going to turn the ball over, and he's going to miss shots. Jaden McDaniels is an absolute dog. 11 points, 2 blocks, 1 really nice one on SGA, and I believe he blocked Jalen Williams as well by the end of the first half. In the third quarter, Minnesota let the game get away from them yet again. Randall was still being forgotten about. OKC was up 22 by the time the fourth quarter was ready to start. I liked what I saw from Nickeil Alexander-Walker in the second half overall. With Randall on the bench and not Gobert on the bench, I felt this was a mistake. Rudy's not been able to guard Chet at all. It's not even a little bit. And at least not through these first 2 games. Maybe in Minnesota he'll pick it up and do a lot better. But shout out to Lucas Hoops in the comment section for calling out that Chet would eat in this series.
And no, that's not me just being a Rudy Gobert hater. In Oklahoma City, he averaged 3.5 points, 6 rebounds, half a steal, 1 block on 37.5% field goal percentage and 25% from the free throw line. It's not been good.
The torture chamber was a plus 28 in game 2. Caruso was a minus 5 after he fouls out. So to those of you who think that Minnesota is getting called for bogus shit, first of all, Minnesota shot more free throws than OKC did in Oklahoma City. Minnesota shot 25 free throws in the second half alone. That's more than OKC had for the entire game, fellas. So, if anything, you should probably make the argument that the refs were trying to keep the Wolves in the game. That's something to look for moving forward, especially in Minnesota, is I think Minnesota will definitely get more free throws than OKC. I'm so confident, I'll bet you a cheeseburger and fries right now. If they're already getting more free throws than OKC in OKC, imagine what it would be like in Minnesota. I'm not saying this to say that this is wrong or something. I'm just coming at the people that are saying that OKC is getting all the calls. And yeah, sure, there are a few things that probably should be called differently, but that's every single game, every single level. Like, the human element means that shit is going to get it wrong. Now, maybe in a few years, AI will advance to where AI can referee all these games for you, but until that day comes, there's always going to be some shit that gets wrong. Just straight up, once you start playing that game, well, you're going to have to take a look at the other side too. And yeah, I don't think Jaden McDaniels should have fouled out in game 1, but Caruso shouldn't have fouled out in game 2. I love me some Jaden McDaniels, as you know if you watch my preview video, but he's got to be a lot more disciplined. I mean, that's just all there is to it. He's got to stop getting frustrated, be more disciplined. You got to beat SGA to the spots. Now, I know that's really hard, and that's why the defense is always in position to lose against the offense, really. And I guarantee you, SGA's free throw attempts will go down if he does this. I actually think SGA's free throw attempts will go down no matter what. I also think that Conley should get more minutes. He's basically been the only guy in the plus side of things for Minnesota on the plus minus. Now, I only look at plus minus a little bit, but in 2 games that didn't end up being close, you got a guy that is in the plus. That does mean something. And I think it mostly is because the rest of the Minnesota team doesn't have that natural, pure table-setting point guard. It's just Mike Conley. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is more of a 2 guard who can play the 1, but he's really more of a 2 guard. And they're so good at turning you over. Minnesota has been turning the ball over a lot, and I think it has a lot to do with that. Now, on the flip side, I understand that Conley's going to get put in some tough situations on defense, but I still think that it warrants a little bit more minutes, if anything, just to shake it up a little bit. I originally picked OKC to win in 7, but it's definitely looking more like 6 or maybe even 5 based on the first 2 games. Now, that doesn't mean anything because we haven't gone to Minnesota yet, but that is kind of the vibe that I'm getting now. They absolutely are not out of this series yet. But the numbers and the frustration that I see with Minnesota, that's where it's leaning to. OKC is favored by 2.5 in this one, but I honestly think that Minnesota should be the team that's favored with their backs against the wall, to be honest. We know that OKC should expect Minnesota's absolute best punch. No time to feel out OKC at home because you will get sent home if you don't throw your best shit out there. Randall has to play better in Minnesota. It's almost impossible for him not to play better, so look for that. Look for McDaniels to be about the same, but I think he will get less foul calls in this because I think he'll be much better at getting to his spots and with his hands and frustration. But yes, Game 3 will decide the fate, and if we make any more videos on these. OKC is going to want to put Ant back in the same position of him feeling like it's time for him to take over and forget about Randall again. That's what I would want to do anyways if I were them. Having said all of that, I think Minnesota comes out and takes game 3 basically because they have to. They cannot lose game 3 or this series is, 96% over with. I think this will be a close one. OKC doesn't really get blown out, so even if Minnesota plays their best ball, OKC will find a way to still stay in this one, most likely. So anyways, just to recap that real quick, I think Minnesota wins game 3, and then OKC takes game 4 in a really close game. If you're looking for some Eastern Conference Finals coverage, we're going to be covering that one too. Check back for more of America's sports. After these 2 games, we will go from there. We'll see what happens, man. But until next time, guys, you'll see me in the next one.